my first opening question to you in the comment section would be that how many CTO, Chief Technology Officers, have you seen migrated from a quality assurance, a software development, or a test automation engineer who migrated from just software testing into a CTO role? I would love to hear from you. You are someone that started your career as a software tester and then grew to become engineering manager, grew to become a CTO. I would love to meet with you. So drop it in the comment section. And if you know someone, drop it in the comment section. If you don't know anyone at all, please let me know in the comment section that I am not alone. But yeah, so yes, welcome to my session. My name is Ibironke Yekinni, and I'm the visionary founder of Testify Limited. Testify Limited is a leading, dedicated quality assurance standard organization. I'm very big on quality leadership. I'm very innovative and very exciting about empowering young people to becoming quality assurance professional. Not because I want to recruit and make the industry more populated, but because I believe we need more of us, and we are not even half the number of what is required yet. My mission is very clear, is to actually equip individuals to become confident and effective team leaders, regardless and without any formal authority or title. And through my work, I've actually championed quite some very great leadership that transcends title. I've fostered the biggest software testing community in Africa called the Testers Quarter, with over 6,000 members and counting. I wrote the first software testing book in Africa called the ABC of software testing. You can check it out on Amazon. I host the largest conference of software testing Africa globally, in Africa, like Africa Product Quality Engineering Conference. I host it every year, which always houses over 1,000 members of software testers around 28 countries in Africa. And of course, there's the Nigerian Software Testing Week. I've trained people, over 10,000 people across the world. I've equipped them. I've gone to secondary schools to train people. And of course, I've worked hands-on in companies from intern to leading and shaping the culture of software testing, both in Africa and in the UK and in the US. But today, there is something that really touched me that I would like to share with you, which is talking about the title that I bring in today, and I talk about leadership. It's shocking for me because the big question I've always asked, and I've always been making research. I've been following a lot of test leaders on LinkedIn. Probably some of them might be listening to me. And I'm always asking, after being the head of QA, what is next? Because I might be wrong, but I've not really seen so much of people move from quality assurance engineering to becoming the chief technology officer, the chief quality officer, the director of test engineering. The view we have today is that people as the head of QA, they think the next thing is to train and start doing consulting. That's literally like the career map of it. But again, that is really not the direction of my conversation today, but it's already a very interesting train of thought that you need to start thinking about if you're already 5 years, 10 years, 15 and 20 years above in the field. This is something you want to start thinking about. Are you going to go through the traditional route of, now that you're the head of QA, you want to train and then start doing consulting service? Or do you want to move above the career ladder to a chief technology officer, to a C-suite executive as a QA engineer? Now, talking about today's conversation, which is authority without a title, leadership without the necessary title. I'm talking about a particular story. I remember this day in particular. I mean, when it happened to me, I didn't really take note of it. It wasn't really a big deal. And if you're in the age of 2024, 2025, 2020s, you can think they shut me down because I'm a lady or something, but that was really not it. This same scenario that I had once experienced happened again recently, sometimes 2 years ago, when a tester, a younger tester in my team, actually raised a critical risk during a sprint review. The room stayed silent. Nobody was even acknowledging what she has said, and everybody just ignored what was said. Now, this was a guy this time around. Everybody just ignored what he had said, and the feature was shipped, and we went live. Production, of course, broke. Suddenly, everyone remembered that there was a quality assurance engineer, and they need answers from you. I don't know if this is just me. I don't know if this is just my protege. I don't know. Has this ever happened to you before? I would love to see some comments. Has this ever happened to you before? Have you seen an issue, spoken up, and what you've been ignored? Like what you were saying doesn't really matter. Now, you might think, oh, because I'm a female or because I'm a guy is why they didn't answer me. But you might also want to look at it from the point of, oh, the other scenario someone just pointed out to me that I remember is, when something like that happens, you think it's because you're not the test leader in the team is the reason why they did not respond to you. But the basis of whether you are the junior QA or you're the senior QA or the listen to you is that authority is missing. Without authority, your influence stops at the edge of your voice. But it doesn't have to. Meaning that if you don't speak, you don't have an influence over people. You have to always, if you always have to speak, if you always have to defend what you have done, and you always have to raise an opinion before you gain an authority, then you don't have an influence. But we need to change that, because when it comes to quality assurance, knowing fully well that quality is not an activity, it is a mindset and the way of how things are being done. It's a brand and an influence and reputation. Then you understand the power of brand authority. The reason why some products are more regarded as a loyal brand to most of other competitors is because they have gained an authority in that industry. So quality is the stamp on every product that speaks authority. Now, if you cannot communicate the language of authority, then don't expect it from the product that you are working on. So the invisible leadership gap. One is QA leads most of the time without titles. Advocating for quality across different teams of your organization does not necessarily need a formal power. You do not necessarily need to be the chief technology officer, because quality assurance is meant to be the leader of your team without necessarily having the manager title. If QA is leading without title, what that happens to be that you start being able to wield into your team members the importance of quality solution, not you. We are now shifting the importance of having a quality product rather than having a quality engineering officer. Can a team function without a QA engineer? Yes or no? I think that's another troubling question that I would like to hear your answers in the comment section. Can a QA team function, can a tech team function effectively and deliver a quality product without a quality assurance engineer? Now, there are two sides to the answer. You can either say, yes, they can function and they can deliver. And you can say, no, there has to be a QA engineer in the team. I will leave the answers to you to decide, but I will come back to answer that question before the end of this presentation. The second thing I would also talk about is Agile has amplified the gap. Yes, the Agile world, the Agile methodology has actually amplified the gap. Fast cycles, distributed teams everywhere, competing priorities, but silent quality voice. Because in the midst of the whole Agile methodology and the push to deliver quality products, you are swamped in the activities rather than the advocacy. And what that results into is that over and over again, you would not meet up with the deliverables. Yes, it is at that point company can tell you that AI is going to replace you, because you are swamped with activities that a tool can do. You are swamped with responsibility that has nothing to do with you. In as much as I agree that you should also know about coding and be able to write programming language to do automation and stuff like that, that's not really your responsibility. The reason why any organization hire you, it's more of the advocacy you bring to the team, the quality-driven solution you bring to the team, rather than spending time writing code like another developer or writing test cases to fill up your activities. The real work to helping the business deliver a quality product is then missing. If we ask you at a glimpse of light, what is the quality of this product that is going live? What can you say to that? Or are you going to tell us you are written 5,000 test cases, 500 pass, 500 fail? That does not communicate money or value to the business. Nobody cares a number of, just like the developer. You write 1 million codes. If the product doesn't work, the business does not understand that you wrote 1 million code. It just doesn't work. So also, if you're a quality assurance engineer, nobody cares about the 1 million test cases you wrote. If it doesn't work and if quality product is not delivered, if a critical feature of the application breaks on production, nobody cares about the number of test cases you have written. Everybody cares about the quality of the solution that goes live and their customers' feedback. And that is really where quality sits. The third thing I want to talk about there is the invisible cost of leadership is the real cost. Low influence, burnout in the midst of activities, broken collaboration, and a missed opportunity. Today, a lot of testers cannot make themselves visible, not being visible by writing every day on LinkedIn and be visible everywhere, or be in your team and talking everywhere. Visibility is about, even in your organization, does everybody in the team understands the quality and the power that you owe as a quality engineer? Do they appreciate the value that you bring, or you are just another test engineer in the team that know that, okay, you are a tester and that is it? Do you interact with the business? How many times do you sit down with the product and beyond the sprint review, right? These are the real costs of invisible leadership. And then to go to the next slide is leadership is influence, whether QA leadership, whether product leadership, whether development leadership. Leadership is influence, not hierarchy, not title. Influence. Influence. How do you influence your team's decision? How do you influence them to want to build a quality product without you necessarily screaming, don't go live? How do you influence the feature that is being built and how the feature is being implemented? How do you influence the quality and the number of reviews that the users complain about your company's products? How do you influence the DevOps team to make sure that by the time they are deployed, not the case of everything works on test, but on production is another scenario? How do you influence the mind of everybody else in the team? Because not the right word to use, but pardon me to use that word, as a QA professional whose work is more of influencing the decision of the team, you ought to also you ought to have the power to sort of drive the team's mind without necessarily fighting it. You don't need a seat at the table to move the table. You don't need to be called to the meeting before you organize a meeting. You don't need to be asked the quality of your products or your customers' feedback before you present a business cost of the feature that was deployed before it was. People follow judgment long before they follow your job description. That's really where the power lives. The reason why you see that product managers are now being taught of like a mini CEO is their ability to influence both the CEO and the engineering team. The reason why the engineers, the developers specifically, because I believe as QA, you're a tester, you're also an engineer. But the reason why the developer seems to be like the most important person in the team is because of their ability to beyond the lines of code that they write, they have been able to influence their position in ways that they seems to be the only person that matter in the team. Not because what they are doing cannot be done by AI today, but a lot of companies will still not replace them with an AI because they have been able to influence the organization thought process. That is really leadership. That is really what leadership is about. It's about influencing, not the hierarchy, not your job title. So the race of wanting to be a test manager, a senior QA engineer under 2 years of experience, under 3 years of experience, under all you know is about writing, under all you know is about testing activities end to end, is doing more harm to you, to your company, and to the industry. So you have to focus more on your ability to influence, and rather than the title and the hierarchy. Quality leadership has 3 pillars, straight to the point. Number 1 is competence. Yes, learn and understand the system end to end. Communicate insight in business terms. Recently I had a session with the software testers in Nigeria, and I was talking to them about how to write a business product and engineering driven bug report. Gone are the days we say, oh, bug description, these are the test steps to reproduce possible solutions, evidence, does it pass or does it fail? If a business person sees that report, they do not understand what you are talking about. A product person sort of have an idea of what you're talking about, but the only person that really understands your bug report is your developer. And then when you want to create your bug summary report or your test report, I've seen quite a number of test summary reports, and I keep seeing the number of test cases, number passed, number failed, and nothing. And in the bug, I'm seeing 5 critical, 2 medium, 2 high, less low. Code is flaky, around 35%. Some features are still breaking. When you run your scripts over and over again, you keep breaking on some angles. Nothing speaks to a business person in your test summary report. You're not business driven and nobody wants to talk to you. You have to become that person beyond the competency of understanding the product end to end as a tester. You have to be so good that you can communicate the value of a failed vision, of a failed feature in a dollar currency. Because this transfer feature is failing, this is how much it's costing the business to lose. You must be able to speak the language of your business, your products, and your engineering team. You have to, because competency goes beyond the technical skills. It goes to your soft, your business, your product knowledge. So you have to be that person everyone turns to when they need an update. When the business person needs an update, it has to be it should get to the point where both you and the product person is being called to the room to discuss. When the product person is asking for updates, they shouldn't need to be going to the developers. They should be coming to you because you always have the right updates end to end. And the same thing goes for your developer. When they want to fix an issue and they want to know what's up about it, you are the right person to go to. That is what makes you become the centerpiece quality leader. The second thing is trust. You need to be able to tell us. You need to be able to deliver facts backed by data. Keep to your promises and speak your evidence, not your ego. A number of times, over and over and over again, and I'm talking about the experience working with senior test leaders in my team, I realized that we like to communicate what we think the problem is, not actually what the data is saying the problem is. Why do you say it is critical? Are you saying if we go live, customers will not be able to use it? Where is the evidence to show that this is the financial implication, the user implication of releasing this feature at this stage? You don't want to say, oh, no, it's not good. Don't go live now. Nah, you're not speaking facts. You're not speaking fact that is backed by data. You're not, and then keeping to your promises. Please, I think it would be nice that going forward, when you're in any meeting, contributing to at least, you contribute at least 3 times is the least benchmark for you as a quality leader, regardless of the title. If you like, in fact, even if you're a junior tester, you must contribute at least 3 times in the meeting. You see, we have gone past the days of, I'm an introvert, I don't like to talk about it, now we have gone past that stage. Now, beyond contributing, when you make promises and said the story point is 2, I'm going to finish this test in just 1 hour once it is deployed, please help us to deliver in less than 1 hour. Because the fact that we cannot hold you to your word and we cannot trust you cannot make us trust what you are working on. You have said this product is good to go live, but we then realize that it is not good to go live. Like we can see basic, like one of my CTOs will call it schoolboy errors. So you must be able to keep to your promises. We should be able to hold you onto your words. You should be able to deliver facts backed by data, not your ego. And the third pillar is collaboration. You see, we have gone past the age of we are collecting what to test from developers. And then when you collect from developers, you say we are good to go. You need to be able to collaborate from the business to the customer support. As a quality assurance person, whether you're an analyst or officer as a quality assurance or you're a test engineer, you are at the centerpiece of the organization. I always call us QAs are the kidney and the liver of any tech organization. Yes, you are that important. Because from the business, they want to know why you are saying we should not go live on this. If you go to the products, of course, they are your guys. Your developers, trust me, they will always be your first love from now to thy kingdom come. But your DevOps is there, your designer, right? Your customer service team, your tech support team, your users. These are all the people you want to collaborate with, because at the end of the day, what everybody needs from you is different information. The collaboration they want from you is different from what they want from everybody else. Can you see? Be the bridge that connects everybody together and be able to speak the voice and language that everybody understands. Don't be the barrier. Don't be the person who's, when tax drops on the table, we know we are not getting any delivery in years to come. And of course, you can easily say, but Princess, in my company, I'm the only one, we have like 5 products. Then that is the time you need to make it a top priority in your organization to hire. Because the job of any person in an organization is not to be the entire department, is to be a team player. Whether as a manager or as an intern, you are meant to be part of a team, except there's only one product that you're working on. But again, products can also have multiple features. So we have to be able to do the proportion. But the moment you see that the work overloads, doing multiple work and working for 18 hours has nothing good to do to you, either professionally, either health-wise, either in quality of delivery. Because as a quality assurance engineer, you are always thinking. As a leader, your work has a lot to do with thinking, strategizing. You are thinking of the best possible edge case scenario. You cannot be distracted and still want to thoroughly deliver a quality solution. It's not possible. The reason why you always keep missing different scenarios is because you are overworked with responsibility, with activities. And it simply means that the entire drive of quality is now on you rather than spread across the department and the organization, the engineering team in general. So the 3 pillars of quality leadership: competence, trust, and collaboration. CTC. Now let's move on. Because I need to round up because of time. Why QA is built for leadership? Because you see everything. You see the products, you see the people, you see the process, you see the full picture that other miss. You understand risks first. You spot problems before they become a disaster. You balance everything. Quality, delivery, user value, they are the daily trade-off that reviews strategic thinking. So when you communicate your perspective effectively, you become indispensable. And that is why quality is actually built for leadership. Now, what that does by implementing all of this is that it moves you from being just a tester to being a trusted partner. This project was sleeping, quality kept breaking through. The QA team didn't escalate complaint. They mapped every defect to business loss. They presented value, not noise. And within 2 sprints from that scenario that I mentioned to you from the beginning, we weren't attending decision reviews again. After we make sure that doesn't happen again, we now start leading sprints. We start deciding what happens in the reviews. We moved our work not only to the code level work, but we also move it to the business level. Influence begins when you shift from noise to value. How do you lead without an authority? Number 1, observe, understand, and align. Let me come again. Now, first thing you do, there are 5 steps for you to lead without an authority. Number 1 is observe, understand, and align. Know what matters to the team before you speak. Don't just speak because you have been asked to contribute something. You need to understand what really matters to the team before you speak. If you have to be the last person to speak, be the honorable last speaker, like me today. Number 2, speak the language of impacts. Replace bug with risks to revenue. Replace failure with user experience issue. Number 3, lead micro changes. Introduce small but high impact habits. Daily quality stand-up. Release confidence review. They are little changes, but they have high impact. Number 4, build strategic allies. If you and your developers are not best friends, go and buy them some pizza and resolve the issue. Win the trust of one developer, 1 PM, 1 executive. From their point, they become to your multipliers because they are your spokesman. How beautiful it is when you wake up tomorrow morning and then your developer say, oh, yesterday myself and Sam were working overnight. We had some discussion, and based on what we discussed about, I fixed X, Y, Z, and I believe we are good to go. Before it gets to your turn, like 3 to 4 people already mentioned your name. They already mentioned your impact. And the more you continuously do that, the more your influence begins to take root. Lastly, show measurable wins. Track and share quality outcomes. Let your results, let it speak louder than request. Okay? And lastly, quality is in the role. Yeah, I know you're called a quality assurance engineer, quality assurance analyst. It's a reputation. Yes, that is your entire role, is to bring reputation to the organization, to bring a reputation to the product that is being built. Every QA professional is a leader in disguise, whether they are an intern level or a chief technology officer. They are all a leader in disguise. And the second thing I also want you to know is that authority is borrowed, but influence is earned. Anybody can claim to be what? Anybody can say, I'm the best person, I'm the most skilled person, I'm the best in the world. But influence, it is earned. Lastly, your job isn't to test software alone. Yes, testers, your job is not to test software alone. It is to lead the culture of quality in your organization. From silence to influence. Remember the same tester I told you from the beginning? That same tester who was ignored and then they went live and then it broke and then everybody said, where is the tester? Yep. She became, by implementing all of those things I've told you today, she became the one everyone turned to for release of confidence. Then they ask you the question, oh, can we go live? Wait. Guy, are we good to go live? And then he or she gets to say yes. What changed? Not a title, the influence that the person now earns. So that tester could be you starting today. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your time, for your attention, your encouragement and insight. I really appreciate it in the comment section. So let's continue the conversation and follow me on my social media platform as well. That'll be all from me. Can take me out. Any question?
Thank you so incredibly much for this presentation, and what a fitting way to wrap up day one of this conference. I started writing down quotes from the presentation, figured I could pull it in to wrap up the session. My list got so long that we would have ran out of time. So I will be talking in presentation quotes at least for the next couple of days. So my Cypress team members, heads up. We are heading into the end of the day, but I do have one quick question for you in chat. So I'm going to go ahead and approve that and share it on screen. So what are some ways to map defects to business losses, in your opinion?
I would say first thing to do is to identify what really matters to the business. So a typical example, you are working on a fintech application, quite popular these days. And we all know that the payment section is very important to any business. And so instead of saying, oh, the transfer button is not clicking and people cannot make transfer, why not communicate it in a business term that helps them to understand that the next over 200 users or over 1,000 users between a couple of 3 hours will not be able to complete payment transaction, which will result into over $16 million lost. That way, they understand. Anybody that receives business understands it, product understands it, is a language everybody understands. So all you have to do is to map the issue to the revenue value. Boom, you have communicated to them and everybody understands.